Here they are, the new AirPods Pro. We're here in New York City. I'm going to go out there and compare them to the standard AirPods and whether it's worth upgrading. Let's go do this. All right, I'm back from the streets of New York where I was testing out the noise canceling, and it definitely makes a difference with all that noise out there. The other big difference is the sound quality. These just have a lot more bass than the original AirPods. I asked Apple about the drivers in these earphones versus the originals, and what they said, of course, was the originals are designed, the drivers anyway, for an open design and optimized for that. These are for a noise isolating design, but no matter how you dice it, these have a lot more bass and just better sound overall than the original AirPods. The other big difference is the stem on these. It is shorter, and I also like the controls better, that whole squeezing here on the stem to access some of those features like the transparency mode, switching between noise canceling and transparency, pausing your music, or skipping tracks forward. That all could be done right there, and it's more natural than trying to tap on the buds like you did have to do with the original ones. I did walk around the office with these and let a few people try them out, and some of those people had the original AirPods, and I said, would you upgrade to these after trying them out? And they did like the noise canceling, but in some cases, the people actually like the feel of the original AirPods in their ears better than having that tip jammed a little bit inside. For me personally, the original AirPods, I could walk around with them and they would stay in my ears, but if I did anything like run up a set of stairs, they would start to fall out and I really can't run with them. These, however, these actually fit my ears quite well. They fit securely. So really, if you're someone who the original AirPods just don't fit, this is the AirPod for you. And that's obviously one of the reasons why Apple went to this design. It will fit more people than the original AirPods. I did ask Apple about how much it would cost to replace the tips. And I will say this, it's not gonna be easy to lose these because they do snap on to the actual bud here. But if you do lose them, you can go into any Apple store and get them replaced for $3.95, which seems very cheap by Apple standards. That you do get only one set of buds for that, I believe. You shouldn't lose them though. As I said, you kind of just pop them off and they have this, you can see it's flush here. There's no little nozzle sticking out like you see with a lot of other AirPods. And then you basically just clip it back on and there you have it. It's on there and it's really, you do have to really kind of yank it to get it off. As far as the noise canceling go, these do have 3 microphones on each bud. One is inside the bud itself, and then 2 are external. One is a beam forming microphone that's designed to focus on your voice, just to pick up your voice. And these do have always on Siri, so that if you say, hey, you know what I'm about to say, you will have access to Siri. It'll come up, you can ask it whatever you want. And then there's a vent in the earbud here on the inside, and that's designed to let a little bit of sound in so that you don't kind of feel that kind of compression in your head from the noise canceling and that noise isolating design. A lot of people don't like to hear their voice inside kind of their head, and that little vent is supposed to help with that. Speaking of Siri, you do have to use Siri to control the volume, or you can obviously use your volume controls on your phone or your device, but these do not have volume controls in the buds themselves. Some people really don't like that. I don't care that much, but I just want to point it out. No volume controls on the buds themselves. One of the big deals here is the size of these earphones. For noise canceling earphones, this case is really small and the buds themselves are really small. I would say, comparing them to the Sonys I have here, these are the Sony WF-1000X Mark III. I really like these. The noise canceling is as good with the Sonys. The sound quality is as good, but obviously a much bigger case. You'd much rather carry this case around than this case, even if arguably the Sony sound a touch better. I do still like the fit of the Sonys. These are obviously very comfortable. They're both very comfortable, but the Sonys are a bigger looking bud and they do stick out from your head more. So if you want a more discreet look, the AirPods Pro are gonna be the way you wanna go. In terms of charging, This has a USB charger, this has Lightning and wireless charging. This does not have wireless charging. The other little thing that Apple said they can do is that if you have them on the wireless charger, you can tap them and a light comes up to tell you whether they're charged or not. That wasn't in the previous model. As far as the new AirPods being that much better than the old AirPods, the original AirPods, the price obviously is a lot higher for these $250 AirPods Pro, not so much compared to the wireless charging case version of the original AirPods, but you see the version with just a regular charging case, that's been dipping to around $140. So you're basically more than $100 more to get this noise canceling version, and that's gonna be a lot of money for people. One thing these definitely do better than Sony's is call quality. They're better for making calls. I used these guys out in the street where it was really noisy, and callers did say they could still hear some noise, but they definitely thought I sounded good and they could totally hear me. For making calls, I'm not sure how much better they are than the original AirPods. Apple did a really good job with the second generation AirPods for call quality. It added some noise reduction for wind in particular, and all that stuff is in this Pro model. It might be a touch better in terms of the wind because there is that vent apparently that helps maybe a touch with the wind, and also because this is a noise isolating design, you can certainly hear callers better if you're in a noisy environment. They're much better if you are in a noisy environment. I haven't been able to test the battery life yet. We obviously have a lot more testing to do with these, including more comparisons to competing models. It is supposed to get about 5 hours of battery life. It's very similar to what the original AirPods have. It's about 4.5 hours with noise canceling on. This also has a quick charge feature that with just 5 minutes of charging, you get about an hour's worth of battery life. So all that stuff Apple's told us about, we're gonna put this through some more tests and really see whether those numbers hold up. So should you upgrade? Well, as far as first impressions go, I would say that if you already own the existing AirPods and they do fit your ears well, I would personally wait for them to die, and they will die. If you are eyeing the $199 model with wireless charging, I would say it's kind of a no-brainer to spend the extra $50 on these guys. They are a better sounding headphone. They do have some nice extra features. If you do want some AirPods, but you don't want to spend $250 on them, which is a lot of money, there is the model with the standard charging case, and that's really going to be the cheapest one out there. It's been coming down in price. We've seen it for $140, even $130, and we might even see it for slightly less than that. And that's really going to be the budget entry-level AirPods, and maybe that's what you want to go with if you don't want to spend a lot of money. So those are my first impressions. We're gonna do a lot more testing with battery life and also comparing them to other true wireless earbuds with active noise canceling. So stay tuned for my full review, and thanks for watching.